You're just in time for television's most unbelievable hour.
In just a moment, 4-year-old Tasia Swani Kadam will stretch the limits of imagination for this unbelievable act. With barely an inch between her and the concrete, this young girl is attempting to roll into the record books by skating limbo style under this row of parked cars. Born in a small town in India, she was lacing up her skates before she could walk, practicing for hours a day to perfect the amazing moves that have made her a local celebrity. And today, a crowd has gathered to witness Tasia as she attempts this risky maneuver. After a quick stretch, Tasia is ready. She begins with a dash toward the line of parked cars, but after crouching down, she begins losing speed rapidly. Tasia immediately gets stuck under the first car and must carefully inch her way out. Refusing to quit, Tasia tries a new approach. But again, she fails. But Tasia is determined. The crowd cheers in support as she tries one more time. Flattening her body like a pancake and trying to keep her momentum going, she begins to roll. Five cars, and she's going strong. 10 cars, no sign of stopping. 13 cars, and Tasia is beginning to lose speed. As Tasia comes out from under car number 18, she's done it. 4-year-old Tasia Swani Kadam has rolled her way under 18 cars, further than she has ever gone before. Now that's getting down and dirty for an unbelievable act. A visit to this museum is extra special for mountain climber Bronco Lane. That's because on display inside are Bronco's very own fingers and toes. An accidental shooting cost this innocent boy half his brain.
It still raises the hair on the back of my neck.
Can a medical miracle give the brave survivor back his normal life? Think those TV boot camps are tough. They're cake compared to this bloody battlefield.
I love the pain.
Find out what it takes to conquer the world's most wicked obstacle course. Plus, this jumbo jet's heading straight for a crowded beach. And has your parking meter expired? See how these bikini-clad beauties are saving the day. Unbelievable? Believe it. On Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Welcome to Ripley's Believe It or Not. Real people, real stories with an unbelievable twist. Now, there's a reason why skydiving is classified as an extreme sport. Each time a man or woman leaps from the plane, chances of dying are 1 in every 86,000 jumps. Mike Zhang must have liked those odds because in one day, he bet his life not once, but hundreds of times.
This man is attempting to set a new world skydiving record. But it's not about how high he's going or how far he plans to fall. No, this plane-hopping Texan is trying to make history by attempting 500 skydive jumps in just 24 hours.
In the sport of skydiving, once you set your mind to something, people go out and go accomplish their goal.
As a pilot for a major airline, Mike Zhang is a guy who just can't get enough high altitude. So in his spare time, this family man skydives. In fact, he even proposed to his wife while the couple was airborne.
the banner said, "Will you marry me?" It caught Trish completely off guard.
Together, the two came up with an idea. Mike would attempt to break the current skydiving record of 476 jumps in 24 hours. But he would do it for charity, a fundraiser for the Special Olympics. So Mike began a rigorous training program to prepare himself, working out 3 hours a day. He even changed his sleeping pattern to make sure that he would make it through the nighttime portion of the 24-hour attempt.
The entire week prior to the event, I had switched over my sleep cycle so that I was sleeping during the day, awake all night long.
Finally, the big day arrives. Mike, along with 150 volunteers, multiple sponsors, assemble at Skydive, Texas, right outside Dallas. At 6:00 p.m., Mike is finally ready. He does a last-minute equipment check, then hops on the plane for jump number 1.
Doing 500 skydives in 24 hours, you have to be quick. Timing is everything.
And as he touches down, Mike's first jump is a success. Now, volunteers have just seconds to remove his old parachute and replace it with a new one. Then Mike has to run and catch the plane all over again. The cycle takes about 3 minutes. But does Mike have what it takes to keep up the grueling pace and repeat it 500 times? Jump after jump, Mike keeps going. But just a few hours in, the weather suddenly turns bad. The rain is coming down in sheets, and Mike is faced with a difficult choice: keep jumping or risk the record. But Mike decides to forge on, despite the risk of rain weighing down his chute or the possibility of a lightning strike. He is determined to finish. In fact, Mike even keeps jumping through the night, with only flares to guide his way.
When the sun came up, it was a beautiful sight, because it was my cue that I only had 12 hours left.
By 2:00 p.m. the next day, with only 4 hours to go, Mike is dangerously tired. He has already lost several pounds in fluids alone. In between jumps, he forces down high-protein foods like tuna and cold cuts, but Mike is disoriented and confused. The exhaustion is actually causing him to hallucinate.
Fatigue had really began to set in, and my mind was beginning to wander onto other things.
Then, at jump 438, Mike has an injury that threatens his world record attempt.
Number 438, we're so close. And for something like this to happen, it just takes the wind out of your sail.
He's hit his knee while running for the plane. And though badly bruised, with the help of a medic, Mike works through the pain and continues his quest. It's now difficult for him to run. Will this injury cost him valuable time? With just a few more jumps, Mike approaches the record and the 24-hour limit.
As I left the airplane, I opened up my parachute, and I just kind of took time to look around. I took time to enjoy the very last jump.
And with one last landing, he's done it. Mike Zhang skydives 500 times in 24 hours, setting a new world record.
It was just absolutely gorgeous seeing all the people who had come out to help, and all their work had paid off, and we had done it. I was in a state of euphoria.
It takes a minimum of 500 jumps to become a skydiving instructor, so I guess Mike could get certified in one day. Now, when a convenience store clerk was shot in the head, the bullet took half his brain, but that's only half the story. And be advised that this contains some very graphic images.
AHZM was a bright kid, known for his ear-to-ear grin. Full of life, he loved animals, sports, and learning. But hopes for a full life were shattered when a tragic accident left him with just half a brain.
It didn't hit me at first, just how bad it was.
The The tragic tale unfolded one night while Ahad was working at a local convenience store in his hometown of Dayton, Ohio. Ahad was caught in the line of fire. This 14-year-old boy with his whole life in front of him was on the floor, shot in the head.
There were police already inside the building, a young man laying on the floor in a big pool of blood.
It was the most blood loss I've ever seen. It still raises the hair on the back of my neck.
Ahad's mother, Khadija Ahmad, remembers the terrible news she received that night.
The doctor tried to, in a nice way, let me know that he did not think Ahad was going to survive.
The delicate surgery will take hours. The bullet has shattered the entire right side of Ahad's skull. Surgeons, if they can save him, will have to remove a major section of cranium. Once completed, all they can do is hope for the best. Amazingly, though the right hemisphere of his brain is gone, Ahad lives. But will he be able to function with half a brain? And how will this young man deal with such a horrible deformity?
I was willing to fight, to do anything I had to do to protect him, because it was a tremendous disfigurement.
Plastic surgeon Dr. James Apesos is shocked. He has encountered difficult cases, but never anything like Ahad's.
This was nothing I thought I could fix. I had to actually change the operation on the operating table several times because it wasn't what we expected.
Incredibly, over the next 14 years, Dr. Apesos performs numerous reconstructive surgeries on Ahad. Many attempts fail. At one point, due to complications, Ahad even slips into a coma. But despite it all, he never loses the will to live or his sense of humor.
You ready to come in for good? You want it?
We got to the point where we would laugh about it. I used to kid him and tell him his head looked like a deflated basketball.
Finally, through trial and error, Dr. Apesos develops an amazing solution. At last, the possibility of a somewhat normal appearance is within Ahad's reach.
We created a silicone implant, similar to a breast implant, except solid stylastic, not jelly.
In a groundbreaking procedure, the doctor begins the reconstruction of Ahad's skull. But will this surgery be successful? Odds are against him.
Next, doctors take Ahad's life into their hands and try to pull off a miracle. Can they rebuild his head without doing more damage? Plus, the unbelievable secret hidden inside this ancient tree. And see why people in this town are helplessly being invaded by millions and millions of creeping, crawling crabs. That and many more incredible stories when Ripley's Believe It or Not returns. You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not.
A teenager working at a local convenience store is shot in the head. How can he possibly survive what appears to be a fatal wound? And what kind of life can he lead with half of his brain missing? Well, you're about to find out.
A tragic act of violence has left Ahad Israfil with just half a brain. Amazingly, he lives. But life with his tremendous deformity has not been easy. Now, after numerous operations, Dr. James Apesos is attempting another surgery to give Ahad a new chance at life. Like a puzzle, Ahad's skull is pieced together. At a press conference many years after the tragic shooting, Ahad was able to once again show off his famous ear-to-ear grin.
I love it.
And despite having only half a brain, Ahad actually finished high school. Then, incredibly, he went on to graduate with honors from Sinclair Community College. And though he still needs a wheelchair to get around, through therapy, Ahad is again learning to walk.
Left foot, okay, right foot, small, good.
And according to this survivor, he owes it all to one great surgeon.
The back is really perfect.
Dr. Peso is a great doctor. Dr. Peso gave me looking good again. And after that, my spirits just went up went up the roof.
Today, Ahad has a job, and he plans one day to run his own business. Those who know his story are amazed by his accomplishments.
The fact of the matter is that we don't need our whole brain. We have a lot more than we need, and he's proof, living proof.
If you have strong support, then almost anything is possible.
Being a convenience store clerk is considered the second most dangerous job in the U.S. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the most dangerous occupation in the U.S. is driving a taxi cab. Now, Ripley's found a giant tree believed to be about 6,000 years old. It's 154 feet in circumference, and the trunk has a hole big enough for a person to walk into. Just wait till you see what's waiting inside.
It's the largest and oldest tree of its kind, a 6,000-year-old baobab with a massive 150-foot trunk. And hidden deep inside this giant tree is something you won't believe. Douglas and Heather Van Heerden were first drawn to a large opening in its trunk when they purchased the South African ranch in 1995.
We went in with torches, and it was very dingy, and I thought I could develop that.
The Van Heerdens were shocked to find the space inside the trunk was the size of a 2-car garage. And after further exploring the cavernous tree, they realized they weren't the first to discover this ancient wonder. The Van Heerdens hollowed out the baobab and found broken crockery from the Dutch East India Company dating back to the early 1900s.
Bushmen lived in it. There was blacksmiths that fixed ox wagons as they came over the Drakensberg Mountains. They stored seed potatoes, they stored tobacco.
But the Van Heerdens had bigger plans for their tree than a glorified storeroom. They wanted to share the giant tree with others.
And I think that the tree itself really enjoys it when we have people around.
Unbelievably, they created a tree cafe that can hold up to 70 people, complete with electricity, a sound system, and tables and chairs. Oh, and of course, your choice of coffee and pastries.
It became somewhere to entertain and to have fun. And then tourists and the community started to frequent us too.
The Van Heerdens are quick to point out that their tree cafe hasn't damaged this ancient wonder. And while they enjoy their cafe, it's the tree itself that gives them their greatest pleasure.
It kind of hugs you in a sort of way. Makes you feel good.
It is a very, very spiritual place. The tree is 6,000 years old, and it's been here before Jesus Christ came on earth, so it is extremely spiritual.
Ripley's legally insane. We travel the globe in search of the most unbelievable laws on the books. Quitman, Georgia. Why did the chicken cross the road? Probably to get away from cops. That's because in this Georgia town, it's actually illegal for domestic fowl to cause havoc by running wild through city streets. Owners of the problematic poultry are subject to stiff fines. Insane or not, it's the law. This man's on his way to the museum. What's he gonna see? His own body parts. Find out how they got there. Plus, it's an all-out infestation, from cats to kids. See how one town's being held hostage by an army of crabs. And these meter maids come to work in bikinis. Ripley's reveals how they're coming to the rescue of drivers in distress.
The concept of building high-tech robots that look and act like human beings has never been fully realized. Except in science fiction movies, of course. But now, the future is here. Automobile maker Honda is creating the world's first humanoid robot, and the results are truly amazing. Using the human skeleton as a reference for the body's anatomy, the designers study every human function inside and out. These robots are a sophisticated mesh of technological wizardry, including wireless capabilities, gyroscopes, sensors, even a camera mounted in its head. Amazingly, this robot can walk, shake hands, climb stairs, and even kick a soccer ball. The latest model, named AHZM for Advanced Step in Innovative Mobility, is a culmination of the 15-year multi-million-dollar project. Honda's ultimate goal is to create a robot that will live and work among humans, a fantasy they plan to turn into reality in the not-so-distant future. Believe it or not.
The men of the Cree tribe carry a canoe on their backs, causing a hump to form right here. The bigger the bump, the better their chances of attracting a wife.
From afar, these tribesmen appear much like many other primitive people. But this particular race of nomads has developed a strange physical characteristic. Over time, the backs of their necks have begun to form huge calloused humps the size of a small football. The males of the Cree tribe, who live along Canada's Hudson Bay, are taught to balance canoes on their necks at the age of 5. Amazingly, the humps are actually formed to help cushion the weight of the boats, which serve as their only means of transportation. The benign humps increase in size as the men grow older. Some reportedly balloon up to 3 pounds. But to the Cree, the lumps aren't disfiguring. They're a sign of strength and manhood, displayed proudly for all to see.
Bronco Lane wanted to conquer Mount Everest, but frostbite got the best of his fingers and toes. Now Ripley's has gone along to visit the mountain climber during an emotional reunion with his amputated body parts. And what you're about to see is very graphic.
52-year-old retired officer Bronco Lane has always loved mountain climbing. In fact, he joined the English Army's Mountaineering Association at the age of 18, just so he could travel the world and mountain climb. But a 1976 Army expedition to the world's highest mountain nearly cost him his life.
We should have been killed, 90% chance of dying, and we didn't.
Joining Bronco on the treacherous 29,000-foot climb to the peak of Mount Everest was fellow Army climber Brummy Stokes. Brummy remembers the rush of emotion after finally making it to the top.
People say, what does it feel like when you get there? I'm never, ever ashamed to say, we cried like babies.
However, as good as it was at that moment, the climb was about to turn disastrous. Having taken longer than expected getting to the top, the two can't make it back to camp. They're forced to spend the night on the mountainside. The men have no shelter, and it's 31 degrees below zero.
I had no emotion other than I must get through the next couple of minutes. Is it my turn on the oxygen yet? Yes, it's my turn on the oxygen. Does that make me feel warmer? Yes, it does.
Both men experience severe hypothermia as they desperately cling to life. If they can make it to morning, they have a chance.
And I'm just going off, nodding off, whack. The next thing I know, Bronco's punching me and shaking me and shaking me. And he's pumping air into me. He said, you died, you're gone, you're gone. And he brought me back.
With morning light comes their rescue. Miraculously, both men are alive. They are severely frostbitten and are rushed by helicopter to the nearest hospital. Unfortunately, doctors must amputate all of Brummy's toes. Bronco not only loses all 10 of his toes, but 5 of his fingers as well.
The event was a turning point in my life. I met the challenge and was lucky enough to survive it. It has given me a hell of a lot of confidence.
Recently, Bronco met up with his Army climbing buddies for a 25-year reunion of the one challenge that almost ended their lives. And while Bronco's toes are no longer attached, they're never far away. In fact, he can visit them anytime he wants. That's because, as an official memento, Bronco donated them to London's National Army Museum.
I walked in this morning into the museum and was greeted, "Hello, Bronco, nice to see you again. Your feet's still upstairs."
And although visiting your various appendages in a museum would creep most people out, Bronco claims it doesn't bother him at all.
They're in the right place, rather than being in some dusty cupboard. At least they're here, to, if nothing else, to shock people, to demonstrate what does lie behind all the nice glossy photographs and films that one sees of mountaineering. Oh, God.
Undoubtedly, a one-of-a-kind display. Believe it or not.
Preserving amputated body parts is not standard medical procedure. A museum curator asked Bronco if he could save them for his medical exhibit.
Ripley's world of unbelievable animals. It looks like a scene straight out of a horror movie. Millions of crabs taking over an island. But this isn't computer-generated Hollywood magic. Believe it or not, these crabs are real, and this island is their home. Every year, the hard-shelled invaders swarm tiny and remote Christmas Island, located in the Indian Ocean. They come to mate, and during the season, the island's 1,500 residents find themselves outnumbered 80,000 to 1. Crabs of all sizes overrun everything, even the golf course. And while local cats can't get enough, residents just try to work around them and wait for the season to end. Not because they like them, but because these red crabs are a protected species. Believe it or not. Electrified fences, frigid cold canals. Ripley's takes you inside the survival course, where cuts and bruises are just the beginning.
They go into death, and we rescue them, bring them back.
Plus, beachgoers can't believe their eyes. A 747 coming down straight toward them. And these women aren't on vacation. Believe it or not, they're on the job. Meet the meter maids making an eye-catching change.
There are plenty of tough guy contests, ultimate fights, and anything goes matches, but there is only one race in the entire world where competitors consider an electrified rope wall the easiest obstacle on the course.
Twice a year, this site, near the tiny town of Wolverhampton, England, is transformed into the most grueling competition known to man. The infamous Tough Guy Race. An 8-mile obstacle course that makes those TV boot camps look easy.
The main rules are, there ain't none.
The race includes electrified scaling walls with voltage so strong it can make your heart skip a beat. Icy swims of 17 degrees Fahrenheit that will cause hypothermia, and hurdles of fire that can blister and burn.
We take them to the very edge of their endurance. We take them beyond. They go over the step, they go into death, and we're ready, waiting to rescue them, bring them back.
Ex-Army officer Billy Wilson started the race back in 1986. And while some may call the competition sadistic, Billy believes he's teaching a valuable lesson to a generation who has never had to endure the battlefields of war.
Today, people are wimps.
Billy compares the grueling obstacle course to the trenches of World War I.
Then they can find out what that awful time was like in 1914 when they had fire, mud, bullets, bodies to trample over.
This year's race takes place in January in the frigid heart of winter.
I love the pain, and the cold, and the wet.
Favored to win is Northern Ireland's Geraint Florida James, a top 10 finalist of several previous Tough Guy races.
It's hard, it's grueling, it seems longer than it is, but it's also very rewarding.
Geraint is about as tough as they come, but believe it or not, he's no Army Ranger or barroom brawler. He's a university professor with a PhD.
you can't be mentally tough without getting the physical toughness as well.
The professor may have both brains and brawn, but he's also got a fierce competitor and reigning champion, Howell Davies of South Wales.
My life is mainly centered around training for Tough Guy.
On the morning of the big race, the some 7,000 contestants get into the carnival spirit. But as they gather at the starting line, their joy turns to fear of what lies ahead.
You get to the course and look at the ice. You look at the obstacles and think, how am I going to do that?
Well, he's about to find out, because at last, they're off. The earth trembles as 14,000 feet stampede ahead, each racer jockeying for the best position. The immediate leader of the pack, none other than reigning champ, Howell Davies. As the racers charge up a rocky slope, Howell maintains his lead, but Geraint isn't far behind. Howell gets his first jolt as he trudges across a stream filled with frigid 17-degree water. The icy chill sends the body into shock, making it difficult to continue. By the time the race enters the woods, Howell has lost ground. Geraint has moved up in the pack of leaders as he tramples over steep hillsides. So far, the obstacles have all been forces of Mother Nature, but that's about to change as the competitors come across dangerous and sometimes even deadly challenges. First comes the rope scaling wall. With its interlaced netting of electrified wires, one slip of a sweaty palm could mean a shock powerful enough to send any one of these tough guys into cardiac arrest. Once at the top, they must traverse 30-foot ropes suspended 20 feet above the ground. A fall could prove fatal. Then, an icy 50-foot river crossing.
The ice was really, really bad, and the ice was thick, so it was like someone who was taking a hammer to your shins.
Here, contestants must completely submerge themselves in order to pass beneath a battery of log barriers.
Straight away when you jump into water, your breath goes, your lungs seize up, you can't breathe. As soon as you get out of the water, your head just feels like it wants to explode.
The water obstacles take the biggest toll on the racers, some of whom are rushed away by ambulance as hypothermia sets in.
That is really, I think, where everybody would say tough guy really is. It's getting through that.
With the finish line a half a mile off and Howell Davies close on his heels, a numb and shivering Geraint enters a torturous 30-yard crawl through the mud beneath a foot-high ceiling of barbed wire. A tunnel of iron thorns sharp enough to pierce through human flesh. During the crawl, Howell struggles to remain in second place. And amazingly, as he emerges unscathed from the barbed wire, the reigning champ summons his last ounce of adrenaline and charges after the leader. But it's not enough. Professor Geraint Florida James reaches the finish line first.
But our winner is an incredible time of 1:24.25.
Physically, I was high as a kite. There was nothing, no pain, no nothing, everything. I could have went on.
In an incredible display of willpower, former champion Howell Davies comes in second. And as the rest of the racers trail in, many trembling and bleeding,
never felt so cold.
The new champion has a moment to reflect on what he's won.
Prize every year is a hot shower.
Nobody died during the race, though. Of the 7,000 competitors who started, only a fraction finished.
Enter Robert Ripley's archives.
Let's go with the show. Robert Ripley, leave it or not. Leave it or not.
The year is 1952. The chance to win the latest newfangled invention, the electric sewing machine, draws a huge crowd in London, England. The challenge? Be the first to find a needle in this haystack. Hundreds of contestants begin their search. Some bring magnets to help locate the elusive sliver of metal. But most just dig in frantically, threading their way through the gigantic pile of hay. finally, the search is over. Miss Rhoda Selby has pinned down the lost needle. She walks away with a sharp new sewing machine, and amazingly, she didn't even get pricked. Believe it or not.
There's nothing more frustrating than returning to your car too late to stop the meter maid from ticketing you for an expired meter. But now there's a unique squad of meter readers that car owners are only too happy to see. They wear gold bikinis, and they are armed with bags of silver.
High heels, a bathing suit topped off by a cowboy hat. No, these women aren't going to the beach. They're getting ready for work. Believe it or not, they are the bikini meter maids. The sandy beaches of Australia's Gold Coast haven't always been the tourist paradise they are today. Back in 1965, the dreaded parking meter began causing shoppers big parking ticket headaches. So area merchants took the parking laws into their own hands and came up with an attractive idea for a solution. Walking goodwill ambassadors dressed in the latest beach fashions would be sent in to solve the parking ticket predicament.
So they brought in the meter maid girls to fill the parking meters so that the tourists could shop longer in the town.
The young women, wearing just swimsuits and coin belts, soon became a kind of tourist attraction themselves. Now these hired meter feeders sign autographs, pose for pictures, and leave business cards on the windshields to promote tourism.
I like it. They're very nice, they're looking good.
Brings a life to the here.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Utilizing every inch of available ad space, the women's uniforms are rented out as moving billboards. Each meter maid works about a 4-hour shift, during which they feed roughly $10 worth of meters for very appreciative drivers. And while the local merchants provide the quarters, they also pay these good Samaritans a decent wage. But for most of the women, this job isn't about the money. It's about getting noticed.
Hope it can lead to me being publicised a little bit, like public seeing me more often.
And they are seen. There's bikini meter maid calendars, postcards, even videos. In fact, many of these former ticket busters have gone on to professional modeling and movie careers. And with all the attention these women get, perhaps the most incredible part of it is what they do is actually against the law, because the city loses out on revenue from parking fines. Even so, officials have learned to turn the other cheek, so to speak, because the publicity and tourism income are just too good to leave behind. Believe it or not.
Next, what would you do if a mammoth airliner was about to come down right on top of you? We'll show you the amazing outcome. And this mammoth body part used to be attached to an ancient giant. Find out what it is and who it belonged to when we journey inside the Ripley's vault. Next. Amazing stories and unbelievable people. Ripley's Believe It or Not. With its white sand and blue water, quiet little Maho Beach on the Caribbean island of St. Martin looks like a tourist's paradise. But visitors beware. Locals watch and wait because they know it's coming. Suddenly, with engines screaming, a 747 jumbo jet appears and heads straight for the beach. Helpless vacationers only a few feet below make for the water to escape the jet-blown sandstorm. But it's not a crash they're witnessing. It's a landing. Oahu is the only place in the world where a crowded tourist beach ends as an airport runway begins. This is Princess Juliana International Airport, one of the busiest small plane airports in the Caribbean. But its real claim to fame is the scheduled landing every Thursday of a lone jumbo jet. Now, crowds actually gather to experience the rush as this airborne behemoth flies overhead, almost close enough to touch. So close, in fact, signs posted nearby advise onlookers to wear ear protection. Believe it or not.
Here in the vault, the inner sanctum of the Ripley's warehouse, the most valuable and the most unusual artifacts are stored. This particular object falls into the latter category. It's called a dork. That's the technical term for a whale's reproductive organ. This particular specimen was collected by a whaler back in 1837. It was then dried and preserved. This 5.5-foot long dork belonged to a sperm whale. But bragging rights for the biggest dork goes to the blue whale, measuring in at a staggering 11 feet. Now, it's not surprising that most people have never seen this part of a whale before, and that's because it is only visible when the mammal is mating or after it dies. Unbelievable? Believe it.
The scariest thing I've ever done.
Only those with the guts.
All right, let's do this.
Win the glory.
I did! I'm so happy! Woo!
Fear Factor. Back-to-back episodes. Tonight starting at 7. Only on Chiller. Scary Good.